Okay, let's look at the drills. So again, everything that we've covered so far can be included in the drills for this and should be included. What I'm trying to do is keep helping you build up your tool bag, your kit bag. For those teachers out there, it gives you lots of different options and ways to vary your practice with your students so that you can not just show them a plank exercise, not just show them one core activator, that you've got different ways of modifying it and keeping it interesting. As we said in the previous video, that's really important for all of us as students, to keep challenging ourselves in different ways. One, keeps the practice interesting, which is important, and two, it keeps it interesting for our brain. Our brain responds best to slight varied challenges, not whole-scale changes, not confusing it, but slight varied alterations, modifications to help it understand its body, understand the body better and connect with the body better. And that's what we can do again today with plank pose. So again, plank pose, let's walk through the foundation of it, because it can become, we've done something so many times, we just become apathetic to it. There's so many times in practice where I'll be halfway through and then I look down at my feet are all over the place. And I'm too busy focusing on everything else and how powerful it is or how restorative my breath needs to be. And I haven't even got my grounding as good as it could possibly be, my footing, my routine. It's the same with the hands and your arm balances. So, stretch the fingertips open. The V of the P sign, that goes forwards, all the other fingertips around it. And we need to practice this and be aware and mindful of this alignment every time. And eventually, you'll become so connected on the subconscious level, the deeper level, that you won't even have to be conscious anymore. It happens. And on an awareness that on a level that we're unaware of, you're connected. That's where we want to be. So be really aware, particularly on the practice. Stretch fingertips open. Index finger and middle finger, the V of the P sign faces forwards. Before we lift up, press down into each individual fingertip and then mound of the knuckle. As I do that, I create space in the wrists. Push into the hands enough so the shoulders come out of the sockets. Turn the elbows back towards the body so I externally rotate the shoulders. Internally pull the elbows in. Shoulders out. Boom. I'm there. Core on. Brilliant. Okay, what we're going to work on this time is really scooping up and creating as much of a dome of the spine, activating the core as much as we can. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a breath in here in plank pose. Breath out, right knee comes to the right elbow, scoops up towards the armpit, goes back. Left knee, left elbow, scoops up towards the armpit, goes back. Knee to elbow, scoop up, back. Knee to elbow, scoop up, back. One more in each, knee to elbow, scoop up, back. Last one, elbow, up, back, relax, roll the wrists. Brilliant. So here I'm trying to gain much greater strength and flexibility and ability to bring my ribcage and hips together, really engaging not just the internal stomach wall but the external stomach wall too, to give us a bit of base of support and an ability to move the body forwards. Secondly, we're going to bring in, again we can use our block, we're going to bring in our block or our step that we were using for hovering and gaining that static strength, or that isometric strength we call it in plank pose. Now we're going to have a motion where we lower down into it and produce two. So when you're trying to increase strength of the body, the two things you focus on is being able to stabilize first. Secondly, stabilize and reduce the movement. So stabilize and what we call eccentrically contract the body. So allow the body the weight to be absorbed through the body. And then finally, it's the production of the movement. An easier way for me to explain that is this. And we don't really get into too many technical terms, eccentric, concentric, isometric. Let's just get into how it feels, practically. So let's stay on these. So as we said, first of all, as we've done in previous videos, focus on being able to stabilize here. One of the most challenging strength modalities, and one of the great things about the yoga practice that it encourages that, because so much of the physical world and the physical practice of the world and exercises, they don't really focus on that. It's all production, produce. So focus on that stabilization. Then, let's start to work on moving into and out of that. So for this, we're going to use a count. Same hand position, so we're creating those same mechanics, those same patterns, those same processes as before. Turn the elbows back, shoulders out the sockets. We're going to lower for a count of 3, hold for 3, and then relax. So it's 3, 2, 1, into the posture. 3, 2, checking myself out. 1, relax. Push back. When you're ready, come back up. Elbows in. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, 3, 2, 1, hold. 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, and we're going to try to complete 12 reps there. Once we feel that we've gained enough strength there and we can maintain the alignment and the stability without the collapse, next we take it further by bringing the knees off the ground. Let's just do a couple of reps here and then let's take it into production too. So we're here, elbows in, same tempo, come forwards, 3, 2, hold, 1, 2, 3, relax. Bring us back, take us up, push up, elbows in, commit, come forwards, that positive action, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, collapse, come back, wind the foot. And then I would say that once we've started to build up strength again towards 12 reps at that tempo, the final thing to do is to put on the production of the movement. So whether it's on knees or full, we can do this. Elbows up, keep the same tempo, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3. Okay, really good. Now for each of those, we're going to have to roll the wrists. So hopefully you're feeling you're building up that core strength, but not just building up the core strength by doing loads of isolated exercises, sit-ups and all that sort of stuff, which is fine, they're all right in their kind of own modality. You're building up an integrated strength. So your core is active and helping stabilize the entire body, moving into the postures that mechanically mimic and lead you into the arm balances. So that's our little drill for today. Next, we're going to go on to the posture itself. Again, blocks help. Remember what I said about blocks? Blocks will challenge our balance a little bit more, particularly these kind of smaller blocks that I use. They challenge balance a little bit more, but they give us the height. And it's the height that we need to be able to sometimes fold the body up internally inside us. So for here, we're going to have our blocks ready for my hands to be placed on. First thing we're going to do is bring both legs forwards. And there's a lead on to us building up the strength in Yoga Press-Up, Chaturanga and Dandasana. Here, I want your hands either side of the hips, hands underneath your shoulders, both toes facing forward, shoulders up, back down. I just want you to press until you can lift the bum off the ground. Bring it down. Okay, once you feel comfortable with that, let's press. Lift one leg up. Bring it back down. Navel pulled in, remember we're integrating the entire system. Leg up, press, back down. So we've got that pressing action, that's important. And we've already spoke of the positive forward action, the commitment to the practice that we need. That will stay in this posture too. Next, with our blocks in place, let's bring our leg up so you can either mirror me coming into your left leg or you can work with the right leg to begin with, whatever feels comfortable. Now when we take the leg up, we're trying to take the inside and back of the thigh as high up onto the back of the arm as we can. Bearing in mind that when we put this into a flow sequence, we'll have unwound these two areas, and we haven't done that in this tutorial. So often when you come to this, hopefully, either in your practice with your teachers or your practice with yourself, you've had a primary focus on unwinding this area. When this area is unwound, it's more flexible around the hip and the back of the leg and the knee. It means that you can often move into the posture more comfortably and safely. So just be aware of that for this tutorial, that we haven't done that as yet. Then let's take the leg up then. And as we take the leg up, so I'm going to shuffle and move and handle myself just a little bit. And I have the top or the underneath and inside of the leg as high up onto that right arm as I can. For me, rather than take it all the way up to the shoulder, just for now I prefer to rest it behind the shoulder, because it's going to give me a little bit of strength and ability to pull that shoulder in. Then the blocks come forwards, I'm going to press onto the blocks, lift my bum up, and if I feel comfortable, lift this leg too. Squeeze the thigh, bring it down, take us down, unravel. So I'm lifting the bum off the ground. When I'm ready to gain enough strength to lift the leg off the ground, that's going to help too. Let me show you from this side as well. So blocks are placed, ready. One leg outstretched, one leg comes up, manhandle. So I could come all the way up here onto the back of my shoulder. For me personally, because I think it's because I've got a much shorter upper body, a much longer upper body and quite short legs, that I feel that when I take the leg too high, I actually take my lower spine out of alignment and I feel twisted and decrepit. So rather than do that, for me personally, to keep my spine aligned, I actually have to bring the leg a little bit lower. It means it's a bit more challenging to balance with, but it means I gain more access to the inside of the thigh too. That's going to be a personal thing that you play with. Sometimes we can be too flexible to come into the postures which feel right for us. And in my case here, I need to just come a little step back to get more activation. So rather than me unwind the leg and take it all the way up, I'm going to drop it down just a little bit. Hands here, underneath the shoulders, point the toes, lift the bum. Now notice that I'm moving forwards too. So there's a movement forwards, rock back, point and lift the other leg, pull the tummy in, back, down, unravel. Okay, again we've developed that wrist strength, we've developed the shoulder strength and the integrated strength of the internal stomach muscles with the shoulders. Once we feel come to that, let's move on to the next part. The next part is helped by that movement we did at the start. So that drill of really scooping, if you look at my back, I scoop everything up, okay? So in effect, what I'm doing here is scooping everything back. And what we do in this posture, we're going to scoop everything back, but in the opposite way. We're going to move our bum backwards in order to bring the legs closer to the chest. Let me demonstrate it, but as far as strength of the stomach, it's the same thing. I'm trying to flex the torso forwards. So, have my blocks ready. Take my leg up, manhandle a little bit. Blocks forwards, press into them. Leg comes up, heel down, scoop back, forwards. Leg comes up, leg goes down, scoop, forwards. One more. Leg comes up, leg goes down, scoop, back and down. Okay? So that pulling of the bum backwards is the commitment to move forwards. That commitment, as I keep going over that positive action, that's what you're doing. You're making the commitment to the practice and you positively, with strength and confidence and awareness, move into the posture. Not dive into it, not hurt yourself, not go into it in a giddy way. We're focused. That's the importance of this integrated system. Okay, next, let's take you to one side. So next, we now want to scoop one foot and hook it or scoop. We're going to hook our feet like so. That's our next action. So when this leg comes forward and straight, actually what it does is it hooks the leg that's over the top. Let me demonstrate and show you again. So sit tall, take the leg up, blocks in, lift up, hook the feet here, and then rock the bum back, back. So I'm committing the shoulders forwards. Now when we do that, we're rocking quite heavily on the wrist of the hand that is supporting both legs. And again, this is really important. This is why we are always aware of the feelings moving into the postures, and we've done this integrated system. If that doesn't feel right, not uncomfortable, uncomfortable's fine. The wrist and all the muscles in the body have got to be uncomfortable to get stronger. But if we feel, and if we're moving with awareness, if we move with awareness, you're going to be able to tell the difference between discomfort that is positively impacting on you and discomfort which is getting towards pain and possible damage. If you're at that point, don't do the posture, step back, Work on the drills. The drills and the flow sequences are going to help you to get into these postures. And that's the reason we put in this system together. In all the years I've been teaching, so many classes, unfortunately, I've been to, I'll be in a class and out of nowhere, a teacher will throw in an arm balance or an inversion, which really has no place in a practice in that we haven't worked on any of the postures that integrate into it. We've been doing lots of hip openers, and all of a sudden, upside down, get on your wrists and do this. And the body's not adequately prepared for it. And so often from that, I have, more than anything else, I think, in my time of being a teacher and a fitness professional and originally working as a sports therapist, shoulder injuries and wrist injuries and back injuries from holistic practices such as yoga and Pilates and some gym workouts, all because people haven't been systematically taken through in towards that end goal. So step back. If it doesn't feel right, be honest with yourself. Is it challenge and I can get stronger? Is it challenge and it's going to be painful? Work on the drills. Take a step back. So if that wrist feels okay, let's now hook the feet. We're going to commit forwards and we're going to extend the legs. Before we go into it, again, we can have a block there ready for our head. I'm not going to use one of those because you're not going to be able to see where I'm going. And before we move into it, we're going to have a little bit of awareness of two things. One, the collapse of everything, which happens when a lot of the time we go into arm balances. We've mentioned that quite a lot on this series. We pop everything forwards and collapse, and we're kind of like this. And also the elbows spinning out. So the elbows stay in to create that really strong base of support. Everything we worked on in video 3 and 4. Video 2 and 3. So let's work on this again. Again, we can use blocks that add the extra height. We'll take the blocks away soon. So extend the leg, sit tall, tummy's folded in. Let's take the leg up, manhandle a little bit as we're not quite as open as we would be. And again, that's our warning. We lift, hook the feet, extend the legs, commit forwards, and see how I'm sunk down, press, get some height. Back, down. So that collapse, if we just, again, just to emphasize the point, diving into a posture, do the posture, what's going to happen is we collapse, we injure ourselves, but on an energetic level, which again, I know I go on about this quite a lot. The tradition that I'm from, Tantra, we're so focused on the importance of energy and how we mobilize energy through the body that I really want to get across to you the importance of alignment and walking through things systematically. So when you don't injure yourself, but so you get the right energetic feeling and effect that is associated with each posture. Every posture and every technique in the practice brings with it a very specific energy and experience, whether that's heart openers, which are euphoric and opening, whether it's forward folds, which are restorative and calming, insular, more meditative, more submissive, more ability to surrender, or arm balances here. We want the chest up. We don't want to collapse. We don't want any of those energetic fields clogging up in the wrists, the elbows and the shoulders, because on an emotional, mental level, that's not going to be good for us, aside from physically possibly damaging the body. So you saw there that I collapsed, and that ability to push up is all down to the drills that I have been trying to guide you through to this point. So unless we can adequately come into these yoga press-up drills, as we've done in this tutorial and the previous one, before that, the ability to be able to take your shoulders out to the sockets, here. The awareness to know that the elbows need to be in for the strength and the weight of the body to run through the strong energetic fields of the arms, instead of shoulder, elbow, wrist injury here. And if you feel that we're not quite mastering that and you're always dead strong to get that high, it's not just go through your drills, take a step back. Everyone, absolutely everyone, I'm sure, will be able to practice these, and maybe not at first attempt. I didn't do any of these at first attempts. In fact, I don't think I did arm balances or any form of a headstand for years of practicing. After as a teacher, I was a teacher for years before I really started doing any of those postures, because they weren't in the practices of any of my teachers. So it's not a rush. It's not a rush. Hopefully you're going to be practicing this like me and you're committed to doing it for the rest of your life. So there's no rush. Take your time with it. Let's go through it one more time then. This time I'm not going to use the block. Remember, we can place the block ready for the head. It's awareness and awareness and awareness. Commitment. As I lift up, don't wait too long. If we're worried and we're tentative, like we said about not being able to commit into these, like taking that positive step, that positive action. If you've done your drills and you're strong enough, take the positive action. You'll be fine. You'll definitely be fine. And if you fall, you'll be all right, you know. You'll be all right. You might hurt something for a few days. I'm sure you'll be okay. So be careful, but I'm sure you'll be all right. Let's go for it then. So sit tall. So again, we would ideally like to have unwound the leg, and we can do that a little bit more in the flow. So for now, manhandle yourself a little. Caveat there, be careful. Press into the hands. Lift up, lift, hook the feet, commit forwards, elbow pulls in, push up, extend the legs, smile, breathe, wink, high, 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 come back. You don't need to smile, wink up. Maybe don't wink, I don't know why I said that. Smile there, but wink's a bit creepy in it, maybe don't wink. But a smile's good. Okay, how was that? Super challenging, posture from an incredible myth, about an incredible sage with a beautiful story that really kind of gives us the heart to carry on in the practice and to not look to others all the time when we're kind of judging ourselves. It's a brilliant story to have a look at that. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully all these drills are helping and you're feeling much stronger in the core area and more integrated, more connected, that they're not working in isolation. We haven't got our meditation over here, and then our gym workout over here, and then our yoga flexibility over here. All those things are to be integrated. Union, yoga, the yoke, the bringing together, the weave. Tantra, that's another name for Tantra, another translation of Tantra, weave. Weave those things in, create something whole, something new. Hopefully that's what we've done. Okay, get out of here. Thanks for joining me.